Every Memorial Day weekend, there comes a roar from the waters. In a drunken parade of machismo, the once-a-year boating crowd hauls their two-stroke power boat out of the garage and plops it into the water at the local marina to cheer on the arrival of summer, while hauling behind them a sunburnt water skier or two. There's a vast difference between the power boat and the vessel I'm currently working on. While the power boat might get somewhere more quickly, though possibly with less teeth, the peaceful grace of a racing boat like this will leave you with a sense of being closer to nature, rather than scaring it off. And while I'm not, in this instance, a fan of more power, I will need at least some power to run a much-needed electric backup pump for the bilge. One of the big projects I have on this boat is redoing all of the electrical work. Currently, there is nothing on the boat. I need to at least get the running lights up and going. I need to add a pump for the bilge, and I'd like to add some lights for the interior of the cabin. This is where we've got space that I think I can put the battery. And if I can get a little ledge in there, get a little shelf, then I think I can put the battery on that shelf and secure it so where it's not rolling around when the boat's moving. Okay, there's a bracket on that side and on that side, and oh, that's perfect. Perfect. I'm gonna run a cable up along the top here, all the way forward. Anchor's been sitting here for a while. All right, so here's what we're looking at. There's a light that's been installed here, which we're gonna replace with LEDs. This looks like it's just a extension cord of some kind from the 1940s. While I've done some amount of electrical work on land, I have not done a lot on the water. I've been told that what I need is this tinned copper cable. So this is what we're going to be laying today to run to both the stern and to the bow for the running lights. Yeah, they just varnished over these entirely, so great. All right, so there's the sticky glue that pulling a little bit of the wood off up there. And that's where the other line was disconnected from the light. So this is the old light that needs to be replaced. This is the new one that I picked up, but I'll be honest, I'm not thrilled about this plastic base. This kind of honestly feels a little cheap, and LEDs are great, but I'd like to have something that's a little more solid. Okay, there's the old cable out of the way. There's the new cable. Away all this. Fat man in a little boat. Fat man in a little boat.
Fat guy in a little coat. Fat guy in a little coat.
I'm going to be installing these clamps for the electrical line. This has a rubber protector on it, and they're metal, so they should last for quite a while. This rubber protector will help keep the line from chafing and rubbing down to the wire, shorting out. Okay, so now the bow line has been run. That looks really, really good. Now, we've got to make a line going to the stern. This is a lot smaller space than we had going forward. So let's see if this rather large man can get back in there. I've got to undo the old clips, drill some holes, and put in the new ones, and it gets really tiny back in there. Oh boy, this is really tiny. Okay. Fat man in a little boat. In a little boat. Oh, do not raise your head at all. Okay. I don't know if I can fit. And it's about as far back as I can go. That's your home. Get into your home. There we go. Got it. Yeah. All right, so we're going to try to run the new light. Hopefully it's a straight run and it doesn't have to go around anything or through any extra holes. Had to get a new soldering gun because the old one crapped out on me. So we've got that set up, and let's see if we can get this installed. The only really dumb thing I did was I pulled the cable out without attaching a line to it so I could pull the new one back through, which was dumb. So hopefully this isn't going to be too hard to put the new cable back in, because I was an idiot. Oh, thank God. Okay. That came through. Have to be really careful with anything hot like a soldering iron and hot solder on a wooden boat. So I've got the hatchways covered so that nothing is going to go down inside, fester, and catch fire. Oh yeah, that was better. Heat shrink has been put around the lines to help secure it from water getting in and shorting those out. So now we have our new running light is attached and ready to plug in. Back at the home base here, working on the bilge pump. So what I've got is a very small space that we're going to be putting this bilge pump into. So I needed to work out a way for the bilge pump and the float switch, everything to be very compact in that space. Make sure there's enough room for the water to get around the filtration system there. Normally we'd be using a slightly larger flexible tube, but this will not fit through the holes that we have currently in the boat. Originally the holes were drilled for a small toilet that was never installed, and I'd like to be able to use those. To be able to attach those, because of the size of the output from the bilge pump, I've had to take a piece of the plastic from the larger hose, trim that down, and then use this reduce coupler to be able to reduce the size from here to here. Now, if you want to be able to use these larger size hoses, but I don't have much of a choice in this situation. So we're going to try this, see how well this works. If it ends up being a problem, then we'll figure out something else. Okay, so as you can see, there's not a lot of room down here, but this is going to go here. I'm going to get this screwed in to this piece of flooring, and then there'll be just enough space for the float switch beside it. Okay, there it is. Float switch attached, pump is attached, everything's stable. All right, now we can attach the hose. This is the hose that I got for it. It's the only kind that would fit down through the holes that were already here. This was for a toilet that was supposed to go in on this side, but did not. So we're going to use this as a line out for the pump. Okay, there it is. Pretty clean assembly. That leads up to here, and then that leads off the hook. Okay, everything's hooked up. We've got the new hose line run to the pump. We have the switch running over to the battery. Right now it's just directly hooked up, but once I get the new panel installed, I'll have it hooked up through there. So at the moment, we're running into here, and everything's working. Okay, last thing that I'm going to check today is the control panel. I've built a mock-up out of cardboard to see if it's going to fit, see where I need to make some adjustments. I'm going to try putting it in the spot here, see how it looks, see if it fits right, see where I need to tweak things, and then finalize the control panel so we can run all the electronics we're going to have on here. It fits. This is exciting. So this is the charger, the trickle charger for the batteries. This can charge up to 4 batteries at 2 amps per. Bilge pump, this is the switch to be able to monitor the batteries and the voltage that are on them. And this is the section I'm going to be using for a control panel for inside the cabin once I decide what all that is going to be. Yes. So we're going to test out the GoPro today when we go sailing with Dane. We're going to head out in just a little bit and see what we can do. Yeah.
But as you turn and go up to a close reach and a beam,
Right.
you want to tighten it a little bit so that your bore stay is straighter.
Okay.
Yeah, it's almost a beam reach. Well, now it's a close reach. As you go back across these channels, the wind shifts.
Yep.
I talked to a guy in Palm Beach that had sailed on one of those in the Caribbean. He said there was no manual backups on anything. It was all touchscreen. A little farther.
Out, okay, just do one more tack going up north end, or we're going down south end?
Don't go out this way, there's no water. The sandbar goes way out. That was a pretty good dive. We're going to figure out some kind of way to keep that main sheet from going over the ends of the traveler.
Yeah, well, when the wind's low and she's out all the way, those lines start to drag in the water. It's so much line.
Well, you felt how the main was trying to turn us back up.
Yeah.
As we were coming out of the slip.
Right.
Because it wouldn't luff because of that.
Yes. Yeah, that was not good.
So we have to...
There almost needs to be something on the end of it because it's straight, it's catching. And if it had an angle or something at it, then it wouldn't catch.
Yeah. Thomas! What's up, Thomas?
The halyard for the jib is pretty bad shape. This is going to need to be replaced. It's it's all coming apart in pieces. So that is not what we want to go out sailing with. So this is not going out today. This has got to get replaced.